Brad, you guys were up 11, 27, 16. What happened from that point on?
Well, we were playing out of our minds at that point. We made every shot, but they were making shots too, and it felt a little bit of fool's gold. And you know that they were going to come back, and their bench is really good. Ingles and Clarkson, really hard to stop, really hard to play against. And so you knew that wouldn't necessarily be able to play that way the whole game. But, I thought that first group obviously did a good job. We had a number of good stretches during the game. But it wasn't good enough to beat them tonight. I was really pleased with how we defended for the most part, with the exception of that, maybe a couple of stretches in the middle of the first half. But other than that, felt pretty good about how we defended, and we held a good offensive team with good players to 99. We just couldn't score enough to win.
Brad, you sat Tatum for 9 minutes in the second quarter. Can you explain why you didn't put him in earlier?
Well, he was going to be in at the 4-minute mark. I'm trying to manage that appropriately with him. He's played a lot of minutes in the last month and a half. And so he played the whole first, which is unusual for him. Usually he comes out in 3 stints. Because of Kimba's minutes restriction, had to bring Kimba out in stints. And so Tatum was kind of forced to change with the other wings on the bench tonight, Jalen and Gordon. So a little bit different rotations. Obviously, I thought the end of the first hurt us when they came back. Start of the second hurt us. And, if I had to do it over again, I might get him back in a little bit earlier, but also know that we just got to figure out a way to play without him some, and, it's obviously a little bit harder with those other guys out.
Hey, Brad. Obviously another shorthanded night, but are you at all getting worried about your scoring off the bench?
It's so hard to know, Mark. I mean, we had a guy score 22 the other night. We've had a number of our guys play well off the bench, and we've never really had our full bench intact because we've never really had our full starters intact. So it's hard to know. I mean, when we're full, we'll see how it looks and see how it goes, but it is what it is. And, I thought we had a lot of good things tonight. Again, we just didn't score it well enough, Some of that was decision-making at the rim, which they did a great job. Some of it was excellent pressure defense by them, and some of it was missed open shots, and so that's just part of it. But, I don't want to make any generalizations necessarily about our bench until we can see our whole team in full. I think those guys are trying and doing everything we can ask.
How would you characterize Marcus and the intensity he brought tonight? He seemed to get after Daniel at one time. I think it was in the third quarter. He was trying to get people involved emotionally in this game.
I thought our guys were pretty involved in it. I thought when you look at they started the game really involved and really focused and flying around, and we got hit by a couple of punches there, in that end of first, early second, and then again in the third after we made a little run at the start of the third. But he did a good job, and he brought. But other guys did too. I thought Tice was really good all night, and a number of other guys maybe didn't shoot the way they normally shoot, but they brought good intensity.
Brad, is it going to be up to whoever's in this game to step up? You got Oklahoma City, Indiana, and Milwaukee. It doesn't get easier. And is it up to the guys you have right now? And you can't worry about it.
Yeah, we may not have those two guys on Sunday. Certainly not Jalen. And who knows what crops up between now and then. It's just the way the league works, and you play as well as you can. And the guys that played a lot of minutes, again, did a lot of good things and have played great minutes for us all year. I think that the feeling I have sitting up here is a lot different than Tuesday night. I felt like we missed some opportunities, but I think they were opportunities that we controlled pretty well as far as getting reasonable chances to be back in that game. And they have a really good team with and a lot of really good players, and I thought their defense and Gobert's defense really affected us, and I thought their skill on the offensive end was really tough. Conley made timely plays. Ingles made timely plays, not to mention the Mitchell Clarksons. Those guys are all Bogdanovich. Those guys are all really good.
Brad, you talked a little bit earlier with Tatum's minutes, but just the challenge right now for you, especially on the offensive end, just to find the line of, you don't want to wear out guys ahead of the postseason here, but you're
Yeah.
obviously shorthanded.
Yeah, I mean, we played him a lot on Wednesday. You know, he was sick earlier this week. So I just wanted to be cognizant of him tonight. And, you know, again, I probably would have tried to get him in a little earlier than 3 or whatever it was when he ultimately checked in. I think he was, again, standing there at 4, but not much earlier. You know, I think we've got to just be mindful of that. And he's handled everything great. He looks great. And we just need him to continue looking great. And we need other guys to continue to get opportunities and step up, and I believe that they will.
Sorry. Speaking of Tatum's minutes and all that, is this kind of leading up to maybe a rest day? I mean, he's been the one guy that's probably played.
He didn't play Tuesday.
Right. But okay, so
Yeah, so no. I think we want to just keep him manageable, and 33's maybe even a little low for him, right? Maybe he could play 35 or 36, but we want to try to limit those 40-minute games as much as we can, which he's had a couple of them in the last couple of weeks, partly because of overtime, partly because the other night was pretty shorthanded as well. Thank you.